Yo, I put it like wow, this that sound. These oaks don't work hard like me, I hope they know by now. Bayo Bab, stand my ground. Bro, these money trees go overseas like Percy Tau. I make sure you stay around, quiet when I'm under loud. No negatives allowed, me and positivity took a vow. I always play to win, don't anticipate loss. Mind always in the clown, my boy. Never think about the drop, never ever ever think about the drop.
Welcome to it, sports fans. It is the MKT Show. My name is MKT. It is a fantastic Wednesday. This morning on the GCS Gareth Cliff Show, if you didn't catch it, there was a lot of controversy. People saying, I don't know music, I'm gonna shut the hell up. I said Drake's a pop star, Kanye West's a pop star. And people throwing heat at me, you know? All I'm saying is, I'm old, that's fine. They're not making music for me, and I hope they get 10 times the money that they have now. A man who's into the rap game, he's all in the streets, handsome guy, all-round nice guy. He's had a good morning. Clearly, he's in a great mood. Looking good with the combed hair, by the way. I got to tell you, Senzo Sitebe, what's happening, pal?
Hi, my man.
Yeah.
I'm good. No, you were there when I was being insulted, when things were being insinuated about me.
All right, talk people through it, because a lot of people aren't in the pre-production and
one of our colleagues at Cliff Central.
Yes.
You asked me about having a certain item of clothing.
Yes.
A specific item of clothing. And yeah, she jumped into her own conclusions, and yeah.
Here we are.
But I removed myself from that negativity, you know what I mean?
So, I mean, we can maybe just clear it up for people. I said, does Senzo have a suit? Because I keep telling people I haven't worn a suit since I was 18, matric dance, and I refuse to ever wear a full suit again. Haven't worn a tie probably since then as well. Mm-hmm. And so I was just asking if you had a tailored suit, and then she
answered for me.
Yeah, actually, she said, no way.
No way. No way answered.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
That's tough. All right. I mean, I don't know what it is about you that says you don't have tailored suit, but to me, as you always say, why wouldn't you have a tailored suit?
You know what I mean?
Haters gonna hate though.
Potatoes gonna potato. Alligators gonna alligate. Anyway, moving on.
She's put some spec on your name.
You know what I mean? But then I told her we're done or we're finished. That's why I left.
Oh, Senzo, it is great to have Senzo here. Shout out Birdman. I can't say it enough. You're going to hear that a lot this week. Argentina, Brazil.
Hey.
I mean, Lolsville, Alabama. I mean, it is LOL City right there. What happened in that football game? Arguably the biggest international football game you can have. We'll talk some social media. And then hour two, your favorite, my guy, Spike Ballantyne, will talk about a soccer atmosphere at an F1 race. It is just, the Dutch Grand Prix was something else to behold, even if you just watch the last lap and the finish. Absolutely incredible. We'll have Spike Ballantyne in from around 1 o'clock South African time to discuss that and much, much more. Remember, if you are with us for the very first time on the tubes, please subscribe, like, share, subscribe. And if you're watching post, leave your comments, etc. below. If you're interested, because, it's a busy world. Your mother-in-law needed you to pick up a flower that's 500 kilometers away. No problem. Get the podcast, the MKT Show, available, of course, on cliffcentral.com, the Cliff Central app, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. All right, great loaded show today. That and so much more coming up after this. You made a good call. You made a good call. That's broadcasting.
Of the highest order.
You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah, bro.
Senzo, great jacket, by the way.
Thank you.
Can we just get a shot on that? What do we think it is? A brown, beige?
Yeah, it's...
But whatever it is, it's fantastic color. That's what it is.
Thank you.
Classy. Really, really classy. I like it. It's kind of like, you ever seen Talladega Nights, or was Step Brothers, where it's like a tuxedo t-shirt? It says I'm serious, but I'm also here to party. It's the hoodie. It's, you're in London as well at the same time.
Yeah, blood.
No, outstanding. Just outstanding. There's no way today can be a bad show. Now, I want to tell you something that happened. An electrifying situation came up yesterday. First of all, my cousin thinks You are one of the best looking humans you know
Oh,
that's
thank
ever
you.
existed.
Thank you.
She did give me a phone call yesterday though, and a situation popped off. So this is maybe part 3, I think, of this situation. Does she live in Limpopo? Absolutely. So she watches the show daily, religiously. Doesn't really like sports, but she supports me. You know,
That's great though.
She's there for the fam. Having said that, she is one of the most betty people you have ever met in your entire life.
Okay. I think I know where you're going with this, but continue.
Yeah. So because nobody answered the question that I asked, because I always say, guys, whatever guys do, it's for ladies, right?
Sure.
Like I'm sorry, I'm not going to be convinced.
You're not delusional. You're speaking truths. Yes.
You reckon, him? So she was trying to explain to me what type of woman is attracted to the Cavella wearing and the tycoon pants?
Yeah.
With Cavella wearing.
Oh, the starter pack, yeah.
Yeah. So do you maybe want to just give us the starter pack again? So give us some context as to what the Cavella vibe is that I was talking about. I thought it was just a Betty thing, and
That's a hood thing.
Okay. So talk
So
talk us through it.
the hood starter pack, right? So Cavellas are expensive shoes.
Yeah.
But
Loafers.
yeah, loafers, driving shoes, as they call them. But there's a certain type of person that wears them in South Africa. We don't know about Italy. I've never been to Italy, so I can't answer for the Italians.
Yes.
But it's the guys in the hood, that are blowing money fast, BMFing, you know what I mean? So it's the Cavellas, it's the Brentwood or Dickies.
Which is what kind of pants?
Tycoon pants.
And what is that? Skinny cut or?
No, the straightest cut ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not tapered, you just off the rack.
So the 501,
But like chinos.
Got you.
And then they also beige, and they hit the floral shirt.
Yes, man.
I've arrived, and hey, it's probably got a gold tooth or some sort of precious metal in their mouth. So
Yes.
Then that guy's dangerous.
Yeah.
He's not to be trifled with in the hood.
That's the guy. All right, so my cousin calls me. Long phone call. I'm talking 45 minutes here, by the way.
Gee whiz.
Yeah. Now, she's calling me to, number one, say thank God, because she hates, and she's from the hood. Yeah. She lives, shout out Flora Park. She lives in the hood.
See, Floral Park.
Yeah, Flora Park. So she's done well, qualified lady, but if you hood, and she's doing okay now in business and stuff. Super disciplined person, but she lives in Flora Park, which isn't hood, but I could say it's that.
It's Scots adjacent. It's hood
that's
adjacent.
It's hood adjacent, where there's, in every, so Ekasi, there's always the nice part where people actually look after it.
Yes.
And it's almost like
Yeah.
She lives in that transition.
It's hood adjacent, that's what I say.
Is that hood adjacent?
Yeah.
So she's got her own little spot there, Flora Park. Anyway, so she calls me and she said, thank God for that public service announcement. But she did say that she just met a guy, and my cousin's 32 now.
Yeah.
Who's that guy at 32, and he's like so nice and so cool, and she was wondering why I got a problem with it, even though she's got a problem with it and is not attracted to those types of guys. She says now she's caught in that dilemma. So I just thought I'd throw this out here, and I said, because she knows what I think about anyone attracted to that type of person.
What do you think about them? Tell me. Actually, I want to hear this.
I want to know what the problems are at home. Because
oh, you think she's acting? Oh, okay.
I don't know, but she's fine. She's an accountant who's doing well.
She can mold him, Moss.
You reckon that's what's going to happen?
How old is the guy? That's the thing.
Oh yeah, I didn't really get into those details. I was just not revolted because
just
guys.
taken aback.
I was just like, oh okay, you of all people.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, not you. But yeah, she's, hey, if you hood, you hood. And shout out to her going to Tuckies and completing a chartered accounting degree. But we are what we are. So she just said I must maybe throw out there what type of women are actually attracted to this. Because her and I actually didn't get to a conclusion what it says about her that she's now with a Cavella guy possibly in the short to medium term.
So people are going to assume that she drinks either Reds or Savannah.
Yeah.
Reds or Savannah.
Yeah.
And hey.
So what does that say? Because we have a lot of international viewers. What do girls that drink and they drink Savannah dry? Yeah, which has that stench. Eh?
And besides the stench, do you know what Savannah dry does to people?
Let's hear it.
They're the reason that when we're in hard lockdown, there's a booze ban.
When they told to me,
you know what I mean? They put they put the bottles on their head and they start dancing with them, and yeah. It's actually sensational to watch.
And you know what it is? Everybody in the hood, right? Because like my family is poor and to middle class, some people is, people who live in the hood, that is actually not what 99.9% of the society is like.
Yeah, exactly.
So everyone always says, oh, he's so hood. Those people are the representatives for hardworking, decent families.
Yeah.
Like most people in the hood.
They get up every day. They go put some food on the table.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's not that.
It's not that.
Not everyone's buying ikavela. So
yeah.
My thing maybe, and thanks for the therapy, is maybe it's like, oh, it's because most of my family, that's how they're being represented.
Yeah.
When I know my family's not like that.
Yeah. Because those people represent the brash and the loud people that they kind of have a lot of money, or they want to seem like they have a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're trying to, that girl that wasn't, in their radar now. Ha, look at me now.
Yeah, my thing is, I just don't understand where guys get the money because, like, I'm so frugal with my personal finances. There's no ways I can afford a $300, $400 pair of shoes willy-nilly. Like, there's no ways.
But, people want to keep up appearances in the hood.
That's what it is, eh?
Yeah, people want to keep up appearances in the hood. So you'll get people in the hood, their house is not that great or whatever, but, hey, they're driving luxury German cars. You know what I mean? So it's
a different level. But anyway, so you haven't really helped my cousin there as to what it says about her.
I can't answer it as well because I'm not a woman.
Yeah, and she knows she's got problems because there's no ways after everything my aunt did for her, she should be with that Kavela guy. Come on.
And your aunt probably she'll be disappointed.
Yeah, she lives in Durban now. She said, I'm leaving Limpopo. My aunt, she's retiring in Durban now. Also an accountant. I've had enough of Flora Park. I'm moving to Durban.
You know what I mean?
So now imagine, and my aunt does watch the show as well.
But also, this guy, what does he do for a living?
Okay, I didn't get to these questions.
Those are the important
I was shocked. I was just not you. For me, have you ever received information and you're trapped now?
Yeah.
It's like ganja.
But have you met the type of men that she goes for before?
Yes.
And normally what
not
is that?
Not the type. Usually squares. She's an accountant. She's usually squares, like square, guy, tie, isont, or whatever people do. And now here's my man. Maybe crisis nyan. She's what is it? She suffered a crisis of confidence. It's a crisis. Yeah, no, she down bad. That's what I basically told her. She's down bad right now. So shout out to the guys that are wearing Kavelas because they're getting accountants now. And here we are crying, single men crying by themselves out here. Haters go hate. Listen, again, if you live in the hood, like my family's from there. Not everyone wants Kavelas, but what did you say? Brentwood. Okay. No, shout out. James, you're from the West Rand, or at least that's where you kind of, the roots are laid. Is there a West Rand type of typical oak or lady that's, if you see them dressed the way they are, you kind of like, oh, that's a West Rand oak or chickie?
I plead the fifth.
Why? What are you scared of? Because your lady lives out that way, or what's the story? Why can't you say?
She doesn't live out that way.
Yeah, she lives even further. She lives by where the Veldskoen oaks are. Well, you didn't say it, but I lie, Jim?
This is why I'm pleading the fifth.
Okay, so it's not about your lady. Just talk to me about the West Rand and what oaks are. Wat drale daar?
I'm very conscious of offending a large group of people at this point in time.
Do you know some of them? Is that why you've got to be careful here?
Yes, and some of them are actually very good family friends. B, I work with them. Or C, are some of my best friends.
Excellent. Now let's get into it. Let's hear. Give us a tiny little thing. What is it? Otherwise, I'm gonna have to say some classic West Rand stereotypes, and then everyone's gonna get offended. So I'd rather hear it from one of their own. You know what I mean?
I think, yeah. You know what I think's uniquely West Rand, and it's sort of catching on here and there, is jeans and slip slops.
Outstanding one there, James. Talk to me about the jeans, socks, and flip flops. Often turned up at the bottom.
Seen it many times while I'm walking through Clearwater Mall. I get the fashion sense of long pants and slip flops. That's dope. But jeans and the socks and the flip no guys, no guys, no.
Why are we wearing a jacket with that? Is it cold or is it not? Why are you wearing flops?
That's
with
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Also, it'll be negative. So if you go over the mountain in the West Strand, right?
Yes.
And people from the West Strand know what I'm talking about. If you go over the mountain,
When you say over the mountain, just give us a sort of what does that mean actually to those of us who wouldn't dare go there?
It's a little bit like if you've reached so and so, you've gone too far.
Okay, so what is that area called, James? I think
so that's Deep Krugersdorp, right?
So once you go past, because where are you from?
I lived in Honeydew for a very long time.
Okay, so Honeydew, you reckon once you go sort of past Honeydew and you get to, let's say, Krugersdorp, because what's the order? Honeydew, Krugersdorp.
It's Honeydew, like Little Falls-ish.
Yeah.
And then, depending on which side, it could be like Florida and then Krugersdorp. It could be like Little Falls and then Silver Star, Krugersdorp. You know.
So after sort of Little Falls, that's when.
That's when you've definitely you've crossed a threshold somewhere.
Wow, you're just saying anybody who didn't live in Honeydew anywhere past Honeydew, you're not going there, and
what I'm saying.
That's tough. That is
saying at
tough.
all.
I mean, James, I can see why you didn't want to say anything. That is unbelievably scathing. And talk to me about one thing I have noticed about the ladies out there. They're still doing the sort of 70s, 80s big hairstyles. Some of the Afrikaans poppies are still doing that. Often the classic short, kind of a step short at the back, but it's a massive bob on top. I mean, what are we still doing there, ladies? Some might say a Karen haircut. Just and I got to say, at this stage, it's important to note, if you're going to do the short thing, I have seen a photo, obviously, on your personal WhatsApp. You do have your mom there. If you're going to do your short hair, that's the one you want to go for, where your mom's kept it super tidy and neat everywhere. I'm a presentable adult instead of the massive bob and all I do, my job is to cook for my husband at home kind of look. I don't know if you know the one I'm talking about. Definitely got the blonde highlights for whatever reason that get touched up. Even though you're like 55, it's unbelievable how blonde you are on top of a brunette kind of bob. You know what I mean?
Look, the West Strand is not short of hairstyles.
Sure.
Oh,
all right, James. I don't want to put you in a position. It's tough. It's tough to, you know, it's always toughest to sort of have a go at your own people. You know, when I tell people, I was trying to tell James this morning, hopefully his relationship now with his lady lasts forever, but don't marry closer. Like, don't do it. You know, my father always says, only idiots learn from their own mistakes. I'm telling you now, I'm closer. Don't go there. You need to have the matrix code before you enter there. Otherwise, there's no way.
You must be so sure.
Your DNA, no DNA is ready unless you're closer for closer women. So don't do it. That's one thing absolutely not to do.
Really mad.
But I mean, the other thing there is, James, there is no way I would ever, in my wildest dreams, date anybody from the West Strand. It's just too much for me. Anywhere beyond sort of 14th Avenue. Shout out if you live in South Africa, you know where that is. Maybe Gordon. I mean, when we get to...
That's even a stretch, actually.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I wouldn't date anybody past Hyde Park, but I was trying to be nice.
Oh, yeah, because I thought forgot you were the northern suburbs.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm unapologetic about that.
You're happy, eh?
I have a Bermuda Triangle that extends to around Houghton if you're going to the south. I don't go past St. John's, that Houghton Drive there. And absolutely not. I just won't do it. And Rivonia Road going this way, I'm not going to the east. You know what I'm saying, James?
So it's like... What area is too far for you in terms of the north though? Like Four Ways, is that out of your?
Oh no, Four Ways I just cut out. I would so don't think of it like that. Yeah, Four Ways I just cut out. That's starting to get shaky already. It extends all the way to about Houghton. Not sure if you know where that is. Sort of just after Ilovo, but I cut it off at St. John's, that bottom road.
Quite a large area.
Yeah, but I mean that whole area includes Hyde Park, Bryanston. You know what I mean, Ilovo. I know what I'm working with there. A lot of devious human beings in that world, but I kind of know the matrix there. Anything else, West Strand, East Strand, absolutely not doing it. Not on my worst day.
You said Matrix because I can't make that joke. We're alive.
Yeah.
That's awkward. Anyway.
All right.
So, like,
James, good to know you don't love your own people, but that's not a surprise to anyone. Okay, let's get to some sport. Very, very good. Senzo, before I come to you, I just wanna give you my opinion quickly about Argentina, Brazil. For those who don't know and didn't see it, the most farcical thing you will ever see. Argentina, Brazil, arguably the biggest international football match there is on planet Earth. Often for the last 20, 25 years, in terms of quality, these two teams have held some of the best players of the last sort of 2 or 3 generations in football. But before I get into it, you know, I really thought about this situation before I wanted to talk about it, is that if you have a look throughout history, criminals are always ahead of the police, right? And it's actually because of what they were built for, you know? Is crime, it's my job, right? And police are there to stop. They are there to prevent. They are not there to think ahead of criminals. They just don't. That's not what they built for. It's not the essence of being police, is you can't stop crime before it's happened. Right? Think of the beginning.
It's not Minority Report.
It's not. It's certainly not Minority Report. So, proactive versus reactive, right? Criminals, proactive. It's my job. This is what we do. They're like professionals, and this is how we make money. FIFA, UEFA, and the EPL are like the police. They are always, always, always reactive. And you know why? It's because the tragedy of organizations, especially when they get too big, is that competent people leave. That's why competent people are never too often in the same place. They're either the CEO, CFO, or they jump in companies. You hear the guy's got 6, 7 jobs. He's sitting on 6, 7 boards. There's a reason for that. It's competent people in organizations understand that numbers bring lack of quality. So the smart people work for football clubs. Because that's where you want to be. You want to be at the forefront of it. You want to be with billionaires. You want to be in touch with, we're doing the right thing the whole time. An incredible situation has arisen. Just absolutely incredible. And I love saying this again. I was right? When we first broke this, I think it was on Thursday or Friday last week. Lo Celso and Romero. The first thing I said was, wait, did these guys go without their teams knowing? Because all the evidence led to me thinking, wait, why would this be a thing if everybody was on board? If Tottenham had spoken to the Argentine Football Association, who had spoken to the Brazilian Football Association, this wouldn't be a story. So someone had lied or broken the rule somewhere. It turns out Lo Celso and Romero left without permission. They are going to be fined. So that's one thing. But the other interesting thing, and here's why I say it's reactive. Martinez and Buendia, Emi Martinez and Emi Buendia at Aston Villa are not going to be fined because they had cleared it with Aston Villa and they had installed a protocol. That tells me, red light there, somebody in the English Premier League needs to answer for this. Because here's what's happened. Don't let each club dictate how they're going to deal with it. That's asking for a mess. The NFL are the best in the world at doing this. Roger Goodell lays it out for you to play it out. Here's what you are going to do, right? And if you don't like it, go. That's how we do it. You have to have a powerful leader. And the problem with Richard Scudamore having left the English Premier League, and I said this before, when he left, he took the soul of the Premier League with him. The Premier League rose because Scudamore, make no mistake, was an absolute tyrant. And he ran that thing. You've never heard of these problems before. Forget the pandemic. There was a time when international football tried to kind of bully the Premier League and they got put back in their place very, very quickly by Scudamore. He says, the Premier League is king here and UEFA cannot stand England because of Scudamore. We'll dictate to you. But the fact that Aston Villa and Spurs have different policies is the Premier League's fault. It is nobody else's fault. It is the Premier League should have gotten ahead of this a year ago, 2 years ago when we got locked down. But I'll tell you what, there's another problem for reactive people. FIFA and UEFA were actually built to run amateur football. They weren't built to run business. Those are not the same thing. And it's a very interesting time now, and we can see with the corruption, everything that's spilt out with Blatter and Falker, is that there were no systems in place, correction and balances, right? Checks and balances for corruption. You know why? Because it wasn't built to have trillions flowing through it. It was built to organize football matches and tournaments. That's administration. That is not business. That's not what they were built for. And they don't know what to do when billionaires come along and say, no, that's prohibitive. We don't like red tape. We're going to do the ESL. They don't know what to do. And you saw that again, is that now Tottenham are going, no. We don't care about your qualifiers. That's an asset. Excuse me, we must decide. And it's an absolute mess. New organizations are needed, folks. We must move on from UEFA. We must move on from FIFA. Because now, I tell you what, if FIFA want to be taken seriously, they have to do something which they've never been able to do before. They have to drop the hammer on the EPL, on the Liga La Liga, and Serie A. I'll tell you why. Is because you cannot you cannot have billionaires upset at you. They know that now. They know what happens when billionaires get upset. They start their own league. We saw what happened. So do not mess with assets, and it is embarrassing. Folks, the FAs don't matter. We need new organizations. And I just want to say this. There's a terrible situation if you're African coming up. But players need to be very careful. I said this up front. I said it to Senzo. I said it to Paulo. Focus on the money. Stop caring about your country. I know you get sold the dream. I know players get sold to South Americans, Africans. I know you guys love your people, and focus on the money, because I'll tell you what, everybody who's saying you hate your country, when you retire in 5 years and you left 5-10 million euros on the table, they're going to be the same people who are cheering for the next guy. So please don't get sucked into the romance. If you're a player, forget about the national pride. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. The only pride you have is the money you're going to make for 10 years in a football career. Forget about the rest. There is no romance in business. Football is no longer an amateur sport. Focus on the money. I'll finish off on this. Keita cost £54 million to Liverpool Football Club. He was caught in a coup d'etat, and they couldn't get a hold of him, from what I've read, for about 10 hours. That is correct. Like, listen, John W. Henry's not playing. I'm not paying £54 million for an asset to be in the middle of nowhere, and I don't know where. And listen, as Africans, we hate to hear this. Let me tell you something. In Europe, they just hear Africa. They don't know the difference between Burundi and Santon. They don't. They just hear Africa. Woo! John W. Henry's not coming here. He's not. He's just hearing Africa. Let me tell you something that's going to happen. I said it before and I'll say it again. Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, and now certainly Keita will not be at AFCON in Cameroon in January. It is almost certain to me now. And this kind of amateur behavior, Brazil, Argentina, this is why Africa will suffer, and it breaks my heart.
Then just to expand on what you said. So the Aston Villa chairman, Christian Perslow, says what happened in Brazil on Sunday was one of the most extraordinary things I've ever seen watching football in all my life. And he says that clubs will be incredibly nervous about releasing their players in the future for internationals, right? And as well, a story has developed not too long ago. They say FIFA has opened disciplinary proceedings involving both the Brazilian and Argentine FAs following the suspension of Sunday's World Cup qualifier.
It's so amateur.
It's a mess.
You know, there are people on both sides who need to be fired, because there are admin people that are employed. Like, don't put it in the players' hands to go and lie at the airport. Right, because what happened, the British players, or those four players, Buendia, Martinez, Lo Celso, Romero, should have stated that we've come from England. They would have had to quarantine for 14 days in Brazil. Yes. But do you know what? Take it out of their hands. Who in the Argentine, Brazilian, Aston Villa, and Tottenham sort of admin department didn't do the paperwork? They need
to come explain, because all those guys need to come show what happened, because
it's not the players' fault. Yeah. The players want to play football. Yeah. So if you let me through the gates, I'm going. The admin people should have taken care of this. Somebody at Tottenham needs to pay. Somebody at Villa needs to pay. Somebody at Argentina footballers. And
someone from Brazil.
Unbelievable. But I'm happy. Folks, I am happy about it, just so people know. I'm ecstatic about it. International football is useless to everybody. I know people like the romance. It is not the best available product anymore. The best product is the Premier League. The second best is the Champions League. The rest is just put it up on the wall downstairs somewhere. Nobody cares. We'll check the highlights. International football is dangerous to expensive assets, and all it does for me, for highly paid, unbelievably skilled people, is put them at risk of a 50 million pound contract. What is the benefit for players to play international football? Stop telling me about glory. Romance is dead, folks. These guys get 140,000, 150,000 pounds a week. That's where it's at.
But just to expand on that, Arsene Wenger was saying that he wants major tournaments to be every summer and fewer qualifiers during the year.
So, anyway.
And Arsene Wenger works for FIFA, and he's been on the other side of the spectrum as well.
Yeah, listen, Arsene Wenger, tricky guy as well. I mean, he's now but he's right. Anyway, look, folks, let's just pay the players. And if you're a player, just stop with the romance. I'm really not interested. All right. Remember, if you're just joining us on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe. This is the MKT Show. Right on. Right on. The young kids are saying socials now. We're going to get straight into it. I mean, social media, obviously the most reliable thing in the world. Nobody's ever lied on there or tried to be somebody they're not. So I believe everything that happens on there. Census Tebe, what do we have in the socials today, pal?
So, first and foremost, the Springbok team was announced today, this morning.
Yeah.
And it's serious.
It's on.
We were trying to show Australia that they don't. We're trying to obliterate them.
Okay, so I haven't seen the team. Hit me with the good stuff.
We're trying to massacre them.
Let's start up front. What sort of fat boys are we playing?
So we've got Kitsov, Bonambi, Malherbe.
Oh. I mean, that as a front row. Meat.
Solid.
Bonambi's an animal, dude.
He's too good.
He's a pit bull.
It's too good. Yes,
Yeah.
and then second row we've got Etzebeth and Lutiaga.
Okay, so full squad there.
Full squad. And then Kolisi captain, Mostert at 7. Dwayne Vermeulen is back at 8.
Oh, let's go.
Faf de Klerk 9, Pollard 10, Bapimpi 11, Delinda 12, Am 13, Spoon Corsi at 14.
Yeah.
And then LaRue 15. And then our substitute marks, Nche, Koch, Van Staden, Smith, Visa, Herschel Jantjies, and Willemse.
50.
It's going to be a bloodbath.
55-12.
Think so.
Yeah, because you know the All Blacks piled 50 the week I said they'd pile 50 on them. Shout out to me on Twitter there announcing that one way before. Is that we will just continue to do where they are soft, because the All Blacks were mauling and destroying them in the scrum. And if
If the All Blacks can do that, what are we going to do to them?
And we won't change. The All Blacks try and throw it out wide and
Yeah.
all this nonsense. No, we won't change. We're going to be mauling from the halfway line, try time, Bonambi, try, pick that thing up, Pollard, maybe even drop kick it at some stage.
Yeah.
You don't even need the tee. This is awesome. Because, you know what? I'm genuinely upset with Australian rugby right now. It's like, do you take it seriously or not?
So let's erode it.
Let's
finish it off.
I want them to feel the pain.
Yeah, let's finish it off.
And I want it to be uber physical as well.
Let's finish it off.
Completely, yeah.
Let's kill it if it wasn't dead already.
I'm done with them. I'm so done with them.
They're wasting everybody's time. And it's going to be in Australia, so that's going to be brilliant.
It's like a home game for South Africans, really. There's so many South Africans that
Brisbane.
live there. Oh, Vegas, been there, mate.
Gold Coast.
Boiling hot. Oh, just maul it. Just maul it. And then 60th minute bomb squad. Marks comes on. Who else is on the bench? Oxygen.
Visa.
Oh, Visa's on the bench.
Koch is there.
Just Vincent Koch.
Van Staden.
Marku. No, it's over. Finished it. Bomb squad. So it's 35-7 after 60 minutes. Then Sabangen.
Take it to 50.
Because you know Marks is coming on, obviously turn everything over.
Yeah.
Australia already useless in the tight five. Turn everything over. He flips it out. Chips it over the top.
Might be try.
Oh. You know what I'm looking for early in the game? Spicy plum, maybe ball in hand. He's for whatever reason he's at center. Dummies inside. Kurandrani, forget it. Bounce. Blind pass. Mapimpi try. And then he gets his hat trick somewhere in the first half.
No, you've got it down to a T.
It's going to be awesome. When is that? Is that Sunday morning stuff again?
No, it's 5 minutes past 12 on Saturday.
On Saturday, that's great. Afternoon, I'll go for a little training run in the morning. Come back.
It's Sunday. Sorry, Sunday 12th September. 5 minutes past 12.
They've done well there because the Premier League, obviously with Champions League, for those of us with teams, unlike Arsenal, who won't be in the Champions League, will know that we're playing on Saturday. All of the games, all of the big teams playing Saturday. So there's only one game. I think it's Liverpool on Sunday, James. I think they've done you guys a number there. It's Liverpool, whoever. I think it's the only game on Sunday.
Champions League. We're on Tuesday.
Yeah, well, I mean, the big teams are I don't even know when Chelsea are. James, Liverpool playing on Sunday.
Would you guys like a comprehensive fixture list? I have one.
Sure.
I do have one.
Sure.
Sure.
Do us that solid, mate.
Let's hear it.
I'm gonna do it, even though this is social media with censor.
No, go in, bro.
So
I can actually see you typing there. You didn't have it. You're just busy Googling.
no, but it's here now.
Okay, all right.
We're making a
all
fuss
right.
of things.
All right, sure.
Do we want all the fixtures or just like the big?
Just the English teams.
No, the guys who are involved in Champions League.
Yeah.
So not Arsenal then. So we have Tottenham and Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
On Saturday the 11th at Hoppus 1. We have Arsenal Norwich Saturday the 11th at 4.
Okay.
Man United.
Hey, 6-pointer. Don't go past that. That's a huge game for both clubs. Relegation battle, whichever.
The relegation dogfight.
Yeah, whichever one loses that. I mean, that's a 6-pointer. Arsenal and Norwich are locked in it at the moment. Norwich, obviously above Arsenal because Arsenal are just the worst team in the history of mankind. If Arsenal lose, I think, is it by 4-0 or more, or that scoreline?
Worst start ever.
It'll be the worst start in the history of English football ever. -12 after 4 games without scoring. So, shout out to Max Aarons. Max Aarons, by the way, now playing for Norwich. There was a time when he was going to move to Arsenal. Imagine him right now going, thank the Lord.
Imagine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's happening. Arsenal, Norwich, Saturday the 11th at 4 o'clock.
Why didn't they put that on Sunday?
And put Liverpool on Saturday, right?
Okay, but keep going, James.
Man United, Newcastle, Saturday the 11th at 4.
Big game. That's going to be a great game to watch, just for the atmosphere. I mean, that's a people forget that's a North proper derby.
Yeah.
Well, not a derby per se, but it's the rivalry's fierce.
Yeah.
It's going to be an awesome game.
Northeast
Plus
against Northwest.
Steve Bruce. There's a whole thing there. There's a whole thing. It's awesome.
Maybe Ronaldo makes his debut then.
Come off the bench.
Yeah.
That's painful.
Yeah, either to rescue you or at 3-0.
Oh, what if he starts and he does the thing?
I just realized something.
Yeah,
Let's hear
tell
it.
us.
And Man United haven't been this for a good while.
Let's hear it.
And call me whatever name you want.
Sure.
But Man United's going to be a one-man team again.
Shut the hell up. You should know all about that, actually.
No, Senzo, I'll let you take that one. I mean,
Nah, you should know all
When
about
was the
that.
last time we were a one-man team?
Steven Gerrard, Virgil van Dijk breaks, whatever he gets broken, you guys are, no, Virgil was injured. Mo Salah, if Mo Salah doesn't score, you guys...
So Steven Gerrard took us to one trophy once, and that makes us a one-man team.
Yeah, because other than that, what did you win, my boy?
Man United's a one-man team because only one player scores their goals and free kicks. Oh, sorry, two now. You're a two-man team. It's going to be Bruno and Ronaldo.
When are we playing Liverpool?
I think in October.
Yeah, you must sit next to me so I can slap your face when you give you 5.
Guys, maybe we should do a watch-along for that. I kind of like that there's an trouble in the camp here. A lot of great emotions. I mean, Senzo's face tells me everything I need to know. James?
No, you see, I'll take it from anybody but a Scouser. Once in 30 years.
Not on your worst day.
What? Who are they?
Saturday the 11th, 4 o'clock, Leicester, Manchester City. Big game.
Yeah.
Chelsea, Aston Villa, Saturday the 11th at 6:30.
They won't have their goalkeeper. If Chelsea don't score 10 there, that says something about Tuchel.
Liverpool Leeds on Sunday at 5:30.
That doesn't make sense.
They should have stopped
I know
the
for a fact
the
you're in
Arsenal
the Champions
fixture.
League.
Who, Liverpool?
Yes.
Yes.
So what they should do is switch Arsenal and Norwich. Hey, blockbuster Sunday. Who will get relegated out of these two? Arsenal, obviously the greatest stadium, the most expensive tickets in the world, by the way. Are they going to be relegated if they lose to Norwich? Like, that's the Sunday game, because you know what Arsenal have to do, James, between Sunday and the next week when the games are on?
Go to training.
That's and don't go because you don't have Champions League. Take Monday and Tuesday off. Why don't you guys go hang out with your wives? Maybe go and do some shopping. Maybe go and see maybe go watch some championship games, because next year there's a good chance Arsenal are going to be there. Get used to stadiums where they're not pouring the beers on tap like at the Premier League stadiums. Maybe maybe they got those gas things that you buy sort of at like Macro in South Africa, where it's actually a draft thing, but you got to press it yourself, and
It could be...
it's the championship, and there's no pasta pasta pesto in the championship. You got terrible doughy sandwiches. Maybe Arsenal should go and get used to that.
I had a pretty wacky thought the other day. It's Arsenal have gone from, you know, those like promos that they do for like Super Saturday clashes.
Yes.
It's like El Clasico and
Yes.
City versus Chelsea and whatever.
Yes.
Arsenal can no longer be in those. They are now in the relegation battle promos.
That's so true. The big one.
Yeah.
Carrow Road.
Yeah.
A relegation dogfight.
Yeah, who will survive? Arsenal Football Club, North London.
Can they
Sprite.
survive the most terrible start in English league history?
As Tottenham are top of the league after 3 games, will Arsenal emerge to recover? Did you ever think you'd hear this?
To get their season started.
The pride of North London. Who will take over? Is Song Hyun-min the best player to ever play in the Premier League from the North? They're saying. What a calamity. What a hilarious situation. Like, honestly speaking, can you imagine if Arsenal lose to Norwich on Saturday?
No, it's done, dude.
Arteta out.
It's done, bro.
Is he out, eh?
It's finished, bro. Like, I'm just looking at the log, right? And I know it's still early days, okay? But we live in a world where Tottenham and West Ham are on top of the log, and Arsenal are fighting for relegation.
Like, that's what makes it worse.
But the thing is, as well, do you know if Arsenal lose this weekend, right? So the only guys that they've played who are really serious are City.
Yeah.
And you're 0 for 4.
They lost 2-0 to...
Brentford.
yeah.
Their goal difference is -9, guys. -9.
So if you lose now, it's a long way back.
And they have 0.
Sorry, I just want to see something quickly.
How do you have -9? You've played Brentford, and what was the other team? They played City and...
Didn't they play
Chelsea?
Oh, okay,
They
well,
played
okay.
Chelsea,
No,
right?
you get that.
But 2 of those losses. So
Okay, so Chelsea I can explain, City I can explain.
they've leaked 7 goals in 2 home fixtures.
Brentford, what are we doing there? What are we doing against Brentford?
They said, "Yeah, here's a warm up. Here's a teaser."
Arsenal are just... You know what Arsenal are? They are that the girl who was unbelievably hot in high school, and then you get to university, every high school's hot girl is there, and you're just another person now, and you're reeling, and then you have a drinking problem because you don't get the attention you had
Hold on.
in high school. It is awful.
Arsenal peaked once upon a time and never again.
That's what I'm saying. Hot girl at your own, like you go to like Potensi High or whatever, and you obviously like Miss like Juffrou Pumpkin or whatever, Pampoen of the year or whatever they call the beauty pageants there, and then you come through and sort of St. Anne's and St. Mary's have sent the big dogs through, and now you're just another girl in Maths 101. Oh, that is tough.
This is make or break for Arsenal because the thing is, this is at home, right?
Yes.
Arsenal have this Norwich fixture at home. Then they have to travel to Burnley, which could be a bit tricky.
It's always ugly.
And then it's EFL Cup. They got Wimbledon. Then Tottenham come to the Emirates.
Oh, that's going to be... That's when Arteta gets fired. I think Norwich...
Oh, you think they're going to wait until the North London derby?
And that's going to be ugly. Because imagine by then, Harry Kane's obviously fired his brother. He's actually got a proper agent by then.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be so ugly. 5-6-0? Tottenham? Because Tottenham are doing it.
Yeah, they're hot.
And Kane hasn't played.
But they don't really need Lo Celso. That's the thing.
That's so ugly. All right, Arsenal. Cheers. You know, dead.
Get out of here.
As dead as disco.
Get the hell out of here. That's what you're saying.
I know. No, but I mean, so shout out to Arsenal embarrassing themselves, and then shout out to the Springboks. So not only am I going to love the fact that Arsenal are now...
Do you still love it? I just feel sorry for them now. Like, it's embarrassing. Like, it's beyond... We've gone past the point of joking now.
You know what Arsenal should do? Very honestly. Let the ladies team play in the Premier League.
Do you know
their ladies team's good.
I'm sure, like, do you know the serious teams? When they see Arsenal, they're like, lol. Boys, we don't have to come to training for this one. We'll see you boys on wherever we're playing them. They're a Wednesday fixture.
Yeah.
They are the equivalent of a Wednesday fixture.
They are hilarious.
Boys, you don't even have to wear suits for this one. You know, it's track suits. You know, you guys can come with your Gucci bags and all that.
Yeah, the swag.
And the earphones.
Yeah, most of those players are listening to nothing, by the way. That's just Beats by Dre.
Aesthetic.
Yeah, that's sponsorship.
Yeah.
Most of them I can hear. Because why are they all mean mug?
They're in the zone, but also no zone on the Arsenal. You know, you're going to see Bruno and Ronaldo getting off the bus, laughing, shirts untucked. You know?
And as we've seen with Paulo Diaz, Portuguese guys need no reason. I mean, shout out to Cristiano Ronaldo in 30 degrees pitching up in a sweater. Portuguese guys are just like black guys. Swag will never be sacrificed for comfort. We will never do it.
You saw him yesterday when he got to training.
In a sweater. But I don't know if you saw the meeting with Ollie. The memes have been electric from that. The guy's wearing a sweater. I understand it was 30 degrees in England yesterday. Yeah. Come on, CR7.
He's cool enough, boy.
It ain't gonna happen, eh? Shout out to Portuguese guys and black guys. Black guys and Portuguese guys. Did you see him
with the earring as Ronaldo's black guys?
He's got black tendencies, eh?
Hoop earring. Oh, come on.
There he is, CR7.
In training, boy.
Cristiano Ronaldo is back at Manchester United. Look at that. I mean, he's done his hair. The hair looks different from the meeting he had with Ollie, which was also on social media about 10 minutes before this photo. Shout out to Cristiano Ronaldo having a different haircut for business meetings and for training. What a legend of the game. I mean, James, look at those arms, mate. He's 36 years old. Wayne Rooney compared to that, out here looking like a grandfather. I mean, CR7, James, an example for all of us.
Well, you know how I said I'm on this health drive now.
Yes.
Right? This is my motivation. I'm going to be bigger and stronger.
Yeah, you're a scars, you're motivated, but that says everything. There's no one in Liverpool that looks like that.
I may be a scarce, but I can still appreciate...
Great is great.
Exactly.
No, I feel you. Hey, CR7.
Are you going to appreciate it once he bangs a hat-trick at the Kop in Anfield?
Hey, we've spoken about this. I'm a huge Ronaldo fan, and watching him against Liverpool is going to hurt. But like just having him back in the Premier League, honestly, I'm so excited for it.
Good for all of us. All right, Cristiano Ronaldo back at Manchester United. BR Football, shout out to you. Great graphic.
Never dies, boys.
And out here, I like that he's wearing the earring. He would have never done that with Fergie there, but he's saying, I'm the boss. I've returned a different animal. Fergie's probably seen this photo and he's thinking to himself, he's probably already sent him a WhatsApp to say that'll never happen again. Expect Cristiano Ronaldo to never wear an earring to training again.
Trust me, he's going to do it before the warm-up against Newcastle.
That's when Fergie, if it comes down from the... Is it Old Trafford?
Yeah.
If he's wearing an earring when he arrives, Fergie will walk down and he will address it on camera because...
Ronaldo. No.
Come on, son. Not today. No, not today. No. Fergie ain't gonna let that fly. Shout out to Ronaldo though. Disrespectful. You know, that's going to meet a lady invites you to meet her parents for the very first time, and you get there and you put your high tops on the coffee table.
Yeah.
That he's starting to show those symptoms.
But he's in the right to drip it out.
with Ollie.
Yeah, come on.
No, Fergie's saying no. We're happy you're back.
But you're right, actually, because now that encourages Paul Pogba.
Fergie, trust me, Fergie's already dealt with this. It is the last time we will see that sort of ubuskeberesh ever again.
But it's Ronaldo.
No. There's, just because Fergie's out, that type of mentality, he's Ronaldo, but Scottish. Just because I've left football doesn't mean I'm not the king here, Chief. The blueprint doesn't change. You didn't do this at 25. No, you know what? All that needs is Fergie just to pitch up a training one day for him to have it on. As soon as he comes for a throw in, Ronaldo, say, Ollie.
May I have a word, please?
And then all this nyongo, all of it. Well, then shout out CR7. What a guy. An inspiration, a human being who has transcended the football world. He's obviously blown up Instagram, the Instagram human. Of all Instagram humans, he's Madeira, looks after his mum. I mean, get off his back. The guy is sensational. Shout out to James, sort of covering it up that they're in the Champions League, but they're playing on Sunday. Obviously, not a big team, Liverpool. It's going to happen. It's going to happen because Chelsea, Man United, Man City, all playing Saturday, Champions League. So no one cares about Liverpool. They're nothing. It's true. All right, coming up after this is a sport where they need to make the cars louder, water the pitch, but by God, Sunday's atmosphere. Hope Holland. That's all I'm going to say. Ladies and gentlemen, the MKT Show. You're making great choices. You are making great choices. Folks, that's big time broadcasting. I mean, you'll see we do have a human being who's joined us. So, you know, the pressure grows to keep reinventing and reshaping the very nature of broadcasting as sort of more of my friends join and there's more people here. And I'm happy to say I can stand up to it. I can stand up to it and I feel very fine about that. I'll tell you what it is that I've now gone on to a stage where I might just commission my own statue. Because if you keep taking it to this level of broadcasting, I mean, the way I bring the show back, now a lot of people are saying, you work with Gareth Cliff, the voice of South African radio for the last sort of 20 years. You know, John Burks, the great John Burks, you're not him. This is what people would say. But I'd say, you know, I've got to build my own statue, quite literally, and my own, sort of find my own place. Having said all of that, the one and only Spike Ballantyne has joined us. Spike, I could give you a big intro again, but, you know, you're a humble, you know, human being. You know what you've done. I don't have to tell a gajillion people.
Yeah.
You're just Spike, and you keep it real.
There we go. And also, I don't want a statue.
Well, I mean,
because that's, I mean, if you want to date yourself, if you don't want to look too far in the future, what you do is you build yourself a statue. Because in 100 years' time,
yeah,
they might just tear that statue down. You don't know. You got to look for something that permeates a bit more than just a statue. You got to think bigger than that.
Here's what I'm thinking: it's a start. It's a start to say my empire begins here. And I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Can I maybe start buying airspace? Because I know like there are countries doing that.
Yeah, I mean, there's the plan to. It has to have been Musk who said no. He wants to put big ass screens on satellites so you can take advertising space in space.
So that's
and then every time you look at the clouds, you see like. Buy a Tesla.
Yeah. So that's what I'm...
Stupid idea, but he's probably going to get away with it.
He will get away with it.
He's rich, man.
The ultimate is to get the right tech. Hopefully I don't die before this happens. Is hologram statues. And then I'm set.
Yeah, there we go.
That's
good call.
But yeah, you got to start sort of mark the ground, own the ground.
Right.
You know, apparently you can buy molecules in this day and age. By the way, that real thing. You can own genes, and that's a scary place where we're going. So all sorts of things are for sale. Shout out to Chris, but they are doing some incredible things.
You can also buy JPEGs. I mean, how's that?
That's true. That what are we calling those things again?
Non-fungible something.
NFTs.
NFT. There we go.
That's what the people are saying on the street.
Yeah.
Spike, I saw something when you came in the studio on you, which I respect. Is actually none of our crew besides you and C4, who's running the camera there. Shout out Peter Maritzburg. just you and C4 have actually haircuts in this place. Actually, you respect your families. Now, unlike a man who is, of course, a producer extraordinaire, live stream extraordinaire, director extraordinaire, after aficionado. James, you, Senzo, myself, we obviously look like trash. We don't respect our parents. Nobody more so than you. Your mullet is starting to touch your back. Have a look at Spike and C4. People can't see C4, but the haircuts just represent what they are. Spike, today, he's coming to set. He had a haircut just now. James, your problem that you still haven't had a haircut, it's unbelievable.
Look, I think I'm just addicted to the craft, man.
Oh, my Lord.
Really?
Okay, that's enough from you, James. Thanks. We've actually got Spike here. We can't waste his valuable time and that sort of nonsense. All right, there it is.
We can't waste his valuable time, or we can't waste his Valentine.
Valentine.
Because his surname is Spike Valentine.
Jesus.
Look, James, I'm not condoning your behaviour there, but I will say that I'm disappointed. I'm going to start with on a note that says, honestly, I'm a bit disappointed in you, MKT.
Let's hear it.
We've been doing this show since for a while.
Yeah.
Can't even remember how long.
Yeah.
But in all that time, you've prided yourself on getting in there with your timing, on your puns. Most of them have been terrible, but the one that you haven't got, that Sky commentator beat you to, was about Max Verstappen.
Take it to the max.
No, that's way. That's child's play. That's way too easy.
Yeah.
Simon Croft saying, "There's no Verstappen him."
How I missed that?
And I heard that, and I was like, "Oh, MKT."
Was that at the end?
Lift your game. Yeah.
Oh, and I did watch a little bit at the end. Obviously, I'm not watching the podium thing. It's very, very boring.
And also, you're not learning your lessons, because if you'd watched to the end, you would have heard that. You would have said, "It's time to up my game. I can't. This amateur punning that I'm doing is not cutting it."
There's no Verstappen.
There's no Verstappen him.
That's A grade. We're now getting into the upper tier. There's no wasting his Valentine. I'm sorry you had to go through that, Spike.
Anyway.
What James
painful,
just did.
Yeah.
That was murder. Murder on the dance floor. Shout out to Sophie Ellis-Bextor. All right. First of all, as a football fan, I just want to say, we're going to talk some Dutch Grand Prix, but let's talk about what actually matters. Forget about the racing, which was what it was. They didn't water the pitch. Whatever. Those fans, are you kidding me?
Crazy. And it's now officially on my bucket list is the wrong word. It's on my itinerary of races to visit.
Spike, I'm not joking. Immediately I said, I need to go to that race.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if I've been to Monza. Everyone tells me that's where you want to be. I was really young when I went there.
Yeah.
But that's like TNT, it's the prawn brigade, right?
Yeah, I think there's races that as a hardcore F1 fan that you should aspire to go to. Monza is one of them, Temple of Speed. Silverstone is the other for the history. Singapore is another because it is the original night race. I was lucky enough to go to that race in 2011.
Wow.
I was in Spa in the early 2000s, another one that's there for the history and just because it's just such a phenomenal venue. And now, Zandvoort, or wherever they hold a Dutch Grand Prix, to be honest, if it's a Dutch Grand Prix, you got to be there.
But also, its main sponsor's Heineken, so they were on it, and Tiesto was there, so...
Tiesto...
I don't know what... I had an image in my head of Tiesto being like this, slim, trim... He's quite a chunky guy.
Wait, was that Tiesto with the flag?
With the flag!
Is that Tiesto?
Yes.
Tiesto, yeah.
I was like, wow, that guy's having a good life.
James, Tiesto, I don't want to sort of... I know you've taken a health drive. I don't know if you saw Tiesto, rather a considerable figure. Just maybe could you give Tiesto 2 tips, because he obviously watches this show. Just 2 health tips in terms of what did you have for supper last night? Maybe Tiesto should be doing that because he is looking rotund.
I have no room to talk, but Tiesto has picked up a tiny bit of weight.
I'm not here to body shame. I was just looking for more tips for him.
Look, I've found that you can still eat delicious food.
Oh, my Lord.
And still eat healthy.
Okay, give us an example. Let me
do this like a TV advert, because that's exactly what that just felt like.
Just give us an example. I mean, are you going to help Tiesto or not?
If you could eat delicious food and still be healthy.
This is
well,
ridiculous.
wonder no more, because today we have... I don't know where I was going. Salads are very healthy.
But also, guys, that guy's worth $170 million.
No, there's no excuse to look like that.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
he's 52.
No, there's no excuse.
No excuse.
Dorian Yates is, 55 now? 56? Like no. In fact,
Sorry, is that a football example?
oh no. Dorian Yates, shout out Mr. Olympia, 6-time Mr. Olympia. You look like a juggernaut, like a human house, Lou Ferrigno style back in the day.
Right, okay, no.
And then he now he's like all yogi guy, but he's just gone functional. There's no excuse. Jeff Bezos sneezes at 170 and looks like Iron Man.
They're not partying it up like Tiesto. Tiesto doesn't live a very healthy lifestyle. You must understand.
Why? Because he's a club DJ. Isn't that like culture shaming a little bit? Like if you go to clubs, you live unhealthy.
Yes. What
do you think they serve him? Water in a club? Come on, guys. Let's be realistic.
I've been to many clubs where they've served water.
Black coffee. He's not a chunky lad.
No.
International DJ.
Give him 3 years. He's just gotten into the life.
Oh, you. Wow. Okay. So, all right, James. Are you going to help Tiesto, or must we move on from you? I mean, you haven't given us
anything.
Cut out the bread, buddy.
All right, good. That's enough. That's okay. I think you've.
So you want him to go poor?
No.
Bread. Get it?
Bro, because it's money.
Yeah.
I see what you've done.
Valentine was terrible, but that works.
That was clever. Come on.
All right, James. You've derailed the show. I mean, you asked the guy for help. He should have just stopped at bread.
Yeah.
Just say the bread thing. It was awesome. Boom, land, move on, get back to producing. But hey, that's what's going to happen with James. So yeah, Tiesto, you know, I also imagined, like you've just shocked me. I thought that was just like some politician's son.
No, that was DJ
Tiesto's
Tiesto.
Dutch. You know, let's make a thing of it.
And listen, great jacket that he's wearing there. Absolute pimp squad jacket. But I mean, those fans, Spike, hey, let's set a target. Next year, I'm not even kidding. Spike, next year, let us set a target.
I am with you. They've yet to set they haven't set the 2022 calendar yet, so we don't know when it'll be. So it might be in February next year. But I'm with you. Let's make a plan to get there.
Guys, we need to. These are the kinds of targets I want in my life. I will go to that. I will. That was incredible. And you know what? I think what's awesome about that, and I think before I've always said to you, it's a TV show, but that makes people want to go to Holland.
Yeah.
All that needs to do, and it went viral on social media. It's like, oh, is that what happens in Holland? That's great for the whole country. You know, when you get that vibe going. So Formula One, wow. So I just want to start off on that. Incredible. Hey, it even got me to watch. I stepped in the 25th on the 25th lap, and I watched the rest of the race.
There we go.
Just phenomenal. And let's start off with, I mean, the event of the event. First Dutch guy in a while, huh?
Yeah, first Dutch guy to win his home Grand Prix. Max Verstappen, he just owned it from start to end. Faultless race. I think he managed it really well. Whatever pressure that guy might be under from now leading the World Championship, certainly championship contender right from the start of the season. 23 years old, home Grand Prix, lots of expectation. Didn't even put a foot wrong the whole weekend. Managed it and executed it perfectly. I mean, it's you know, people have been saying for a long time that this is a guy for the future of Formula One, and you know, if they needed any more proof that was the case, if anybody needed any more proof, there it was.
So what are we thinking here? Because now we're starting to see a guy where, you know, if he was going to start wobbling, although it's tough, this would be his first title, so we probably need to see how he moves maybe in next season. Because, or do you think he's the guy already? Like it's clear.
Having seen how he raced as a youngster when he started out when he was 17 years old, the youngest ever Formula One race winner, he made a lot of mistakes. He did a lot of dumb things. He drove a little bit too aggressively. He tried things that, you know, he thought things were on when they weren't.
Yeah.
And if you look at his evolution from then till now, if you see how far he's come, you know, he's a completely different driver. And I think now it's just a matter of he's got what he needs. Now it's just the really fine tuning to get to the next level. But he's definitely, you know, as far as a first world title pressure comes, as far as that's concerned, I'm sure he's able to deal with that kind of thing. I think if he was going to crack, it would have shown by now, given that he got punted out by Hamilton in Silverstone, given that he got punted out in Hungary. He had two really bad results that knocked him back quite severely, and he's dealt with them, and he's moved on, and he's now back in front. So, you know, again, if you need any more proof, there it is. He's got what it takes.
Senzo, Max Verstappen's the biggest thing in Holland right now. Forget about the football team. That guy's he's everything they need. Austrian born, but he says, I feel more Dutch. That's how he sees himself. He's the biggest thing in Holland right now, dude.
Easily. It's not even close.
Shout out.
Not even close.
Dude, and what I like is he's got the juice as well. You know, it's like, I love Sir Lewis Hamilton. People need to have more respect there.
Honestly, put some respect on his name.
Respect on his name. But, you know, Bernie, we must say, Bernie had to push Lewis in that direction. Verstappen has that thing.
What do you mean Bernie had to push Lewis in that direction?
Look, Lewis, I feel, is almost. There are some guys where it feels natural. I think Bernie had a like Lewis is even in the interviews, he's like dead.
I think Lewis.
you know what I mean?
I think Lewis isn't a character.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. He's
Like,
not a character.
I'm pretty sure Bernie had to say, "Hey, the fashion thing. It's cool that you've got that. Step into it." Whereas with Beckham, I'm doing it. Like Verstappen, I like the fact that he's got some juice, dude. Like
Not
Formula
my guy,
One,
but like I get what you mean.
like I like that. I like after the race. Who is your guy?
Yeah, who's your guy?
Well, I'm a Ferrari guy, but Hamilton is.
Look, he's great. I'm not denying
Yeah.
Hamilton's.
Yeah,
I don't know.
top two.
For me, I find Max a bit of a brat.
I love it. You see what you hate?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what I'm after.
and let me tell you something. A few years ago, he was even worse because he would make mistakes and he would say, "Well, screw you. I'm racing the way I'm racing." Now he's more likely to go, "Look, I'm really sorry. I put a foot wrong. I didn't do things right. The team didn't do things right. Apologize to that driver." He's much more mature now than he ever was. But I get it. He does come across as this. I don't know if brat is the right word, but he's certainly cocky.
Because Christian Horner makes him that way.
And Horner's my guy.
But
hate
why?
Christian
Let's
Horner.
go.
I hate Christian Horner so much.
But why do you hate? Is a strong word, man.
Nah, that's
You and Horner, huh?
Is
what's
it
the
because
story?
Is it because he's married to a Spice Girl?
no. What the Spice Light? Spice Light.
Just be honest. I mean, David Beckham, who is somebody who you idolize.
Horner thinks he's cool. He's got short man syndrome. Toto was like, if we're allowed to hit you.
I'm guessing this is from
No, he's a
Drive to
Karen.
Survive.
He's a Karen.
Who's that?
Christian Horner.
You know,
Please speak to the manager. All the time when things don't go, he's
Oh yeah. What about Toto Wolff? Michael, did you get my email? Same thing.
nah.
listen, Horner. You know what is Verstappen is you can't just have like mayonnaise. Like that's what.
Yeah, true.
That's what Lewis
He's like
Hamilton is. His
Boswell.
mayonnaise is gonna pitch up. Yeah, Britain's great. Well, for great bit of hot
I want to
sport.
talk about something, guys. How is it convenient that whenever Lewis doesn't have a great race, Rosberg is there for the post-race interviews? He's there.
Oh, Nico.
Yeah.
Do you know he was wearing the mask the whole time in the interviews because he was probably smiling?
So Nico, how you doing, mate? Mr. Heineken. There's a guy who's doing it. Nico
Who's
Rosberg.
Nico Rosberg.
Mate of mine saw him. He was with him in Ibiza a couple of like 2 months ago. Now he's just like the commentator, and he's brilliant. I love Nico
Yeah.
on mic.
And he's got Nico, for all his faults as a driver personality, he was very much like Lewis, kind of a bit bland.
Yeah.
Didn't really have a sense of humor, you know. But now, I mean, he, as you say, he's got it right. He's got an incredible YouTube channel in terms of like the content he's putting out is amazing.
Yeah.
He's driving, remix, and he's showing people his new yacht, and he's doing all kinds of things. And every time you see him on camera, he looks amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, his hair's a bit of a questionable, but the way he dresses is fantastic.
No, he's Nico on that Heineken
He's
ad.
doing
All right,
superbly
Nico.
well.
No.
Okay. I'm only. I'm
Nah,
driving.
thank you. Yeah.
I'm driving.
Oh, yeah, I love it, Nico. So hey, honestly though, I like that the way you feel about Verstappen is good for Formula One, because what you don't want is people not feeling anything about sort of an antagonist figure to the great Lewis Hamilton. I mean, that's not what I'm saying. So it's good, it's good that to have that sort of natural tension. A legend, a man quite opposite to Nico, possibly the best hair, maybe in sport. So you felt Alonso, they did him a dirty.
Yeah, I mean, this is a minor point in the grand scheme of things, but Driver of the Day was awarded to Sergio Perez. That's of course, a Sky Sport F1 viewer vote thing. So it's really kind of a fan choice, and Sergio Perez, for starting from the pit lane, finishing 8th, I think. He was awarded Driver of the Day. Phenomenal drive to get to that position from the back. But for me, the guy who drove the best race, in fact had a much better weekend all around, was Fernando Alonso. If you look at the way he managed that race, he took all his experience and put it to the best use possible. He had his teammate behind him complaining, saying, he's too fast, he's too slow. And then when Alonso's engineer gets on the blower to him and go, look, you're too slow, he's like, hey, I'm managing my tires, give me a break here.
Yeah.
Puts in the laps when he needs to, manages it consistently right from the start to the end, so much so that on the last lap, he pips old Carlos Sainz to the post, takes a position off a Ferrari, which is just phenomenal.
And you know what? That's probably a good lesson for everybody. It's like, hey, you're working with greatness here.
Yeah.
Like you don't just give me the feedback.
Yeah.
Is ask me what I'm doing,
Yeah.
and let's work on it together in race. And I hadn't even thought of it the way you're saying it. It's like he's like, no, what are you guys talking about? I've done this a gajillion times.
Don't sit behind me and complain. Just watch what I'm doing and maybe learn a lesson.
And just the hair is phenomenal. Shout out to his hairdresser.
And he's so much more relaxed now. You watch any of his interviews, he smiles more, jokes more. You know, he just looks so much happier now than he was, you know, when he left Formula One, you know, when he was with McLaren. And it's really nice to see someone of that magnitude just enjoying himself all over again.
What it does tell you is the pressure, like it gives you an insight into just how great Schumacher and Lewis Hamilton have been, right? Is that what it tells you about Alonso, whether we like it or not, is just the immense pressure when you're the guy at Ferrari and as you say at McLaren, is that there is no time to feel. Like just to think how Hamilton and Schumacher have done this to 7, 8. My God, that's Ronaldo. These people, it's like, how did they?
Ice cold.
And I like Alonso, and he's good for the sport. And I think you know, if for me, as you're talking about it, it's really, really important that once he's done, is there is still a Latin market that needs to be captured. Is make sure, because come on now.
Yeah, I mean, he's brought Spain to Formula One.
You know what I mean?
You know, they had a race there, but, you know, when Alonso was coming up, when he started with Minardi, you know, he had to fight to get in there. He had a few good connections, but Formula One wasn't big in Spain.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't the kid who you know, could jump onto satellite TV and watch live races. You know, he had to tape the races and watch them afterwards, or watch them at 11 o'clock at night, or catch the highlights package at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Because Formula One wasn't a big thing. He's made Formula One a big thing in Spain. And that, as you say, needs to be continued. And we have Carlos Sainz now to carry that mantle, to carry that torch.
Carlos.
You see Carlos Sainz.
Carlos. Shame.
But he's too swag. He's too
Also
cool for
great
his own
hair.
thing.
Yeah, phenomenal hair.
It's a Spanish thing.
Yeah,
Honestly.
must be. Yeah.
Those what do you call the sangria or whatever? What are they drinking there? Whatever they're doing in Spain, I don't know.
But it's very good.
It's orange juice. Spain's good with orange juice.
They are good with orange juice and the treated meat. By the way, shout out to when I was in.
Wow.
I went to Bilbao one time, right? And so I was wearing. By the way, I didn't know this at the time. I was what they call on the streets on the streets ignorant. I didn't realize that if you are wearing a Real Sociedad shirt in the wrong part.
No ways, don't do that.
Listen, and especially in Basque country, if you are wearing that shirt in the wrong parts, walked into like a butcher or whatever you call them.
Goodness.
The guy told me to leave.
No, really?
Oh yeah.
Flat out.
It was
Get
a
out
racial
of
thing.
No. I thought he was joking. Like my mate's like, no, dude, you need to leave. And I thought, oh, haha, get that out of here. Treated ham there though. Oh, are you kidding me? And the pork, absolutely sensational stuff. Okay. Well, Spike, we'll have to take a little before we get to the last point there. Breaking news: BBC Sport. British Broadcasting Corporation Sport. Shout out to them for never changing the logo since about 1850, staying consistent, the BBC. Wow, this is huge. 8 Premier League players will be stopped from playing for their clubs this weekend after Brazilian football authorities triggered a FIFA rule to prevent them appearing. This is exactly where I thought it would go.
So that it affects 5 Premier League teams.
Oh boy.
And 2 of them are Manchester City and Liverpool, but they're keepers.
Oh boy. James, you can maybe step in here, maybe wipe the tear before you come on camera. Who is your backup keeper? You still got, is it Karius or who's the other guy?
Adrian.
Is it is he goalkeeper? Is he Adrian? Oh, you look like a damsel in distress. You know how you look like a damsel in distress? Your hair's so long, can't tell. Is that a guy or is it a lady? Not too sure.
So yeah, we are without Alisson and Firmino.
Yeah.
Our backup keepers include Adrian.
Yeah.
Who's okay. I think Karius is back in the Liverpool setup, but not really anywhere.
Yeah, that's because he rolled the ball to Benzema in the final at his feet. Yeah, I watched that.
Do that. And then we've got a youngster by the name of, I don't know how to say his name, Keller Hare.
Yeah, sounds about right, yeah.
Something like that. I don't know where Mignolet is. Couldn't care, actually.
Slumdog Mignolet, no longer there. I think he has gone. I forget where he's gone.
At Besiktas.
So I'll tell you.
Belgium.
So I'll tell you all the teams this affects.
All right.
Liverpool.
Yep.
Man City.
Yep.
Chelsea.
Yep.
Man United.
Yeah.
And Leeds.
What about Tottenham with Lucas Moura? Or is it only selected people?
No, he's not in the squad.
Oh, right. Okay.
Wow.
So,
all right,
yeah.
that is breaking news. We will keep you posted on that. Let's get back to the action. I mean, hey, James, great producing there. That is massive news. We'll talk about that. Great content for us. Obviously, more drama is fantastic. But we're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about a sport where men are racing around at incredibly dangerous speeds around a track that's sometimes watered, and it gives it more sort of oomph. And they should probably make the cars louder. But
Hey, one more thing to add to that list
Yes.
while we're at it. Water the pitch, race at night,
yes,
make the cars louder,
yes.
add banking.
I don't know what that means.
So turn 3, there were a few corners at the Dutch Grand Prix, but turn 3 where they're going to go around the outside on the banking.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it looks spectacular. I don't know if it adds anything realistically to the prospects of better racing, but wow, it looks amazing.
Do you think, you know how Europeans cannot stand like American stuff ever creeping in is because NASCAR kind of has that effect?
Yeah, I think it's from what I understand, it's a very old school way of constructing a racetrack.
I see.
Banking is an old school. I used to have it at Monza. The structure is still there, but the track bypasses it.
Kind of cool because the car's bouncing.
Yeah, and you've got different lines and different drivers taking different lines, and it's really cool to see those cars coming through there with attitude.
That's driver talk.
There we go.
With attitude.
That's all put.
Like, hey, how did he come through? It was a little tight. He had some attitude. I like that. I do kind of like that. Listen, you feel somebody's not getting enough attention, and after this weekend's racing, I think more people would agree with you.
Yeah, I just think Pierre Gasly is not doesn't get his share of the headlines. You know, if you look at what he's done this season, he's consistently in the top 10. On averages a top 10 finishes, not always obviously, but averages a top 10 finish. He's had 3 top 5 finishes this season against Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, and McLaren. And I just think with all the talk around the driver movements and you know what drivers are doing and who's going to which teams and the possibilities and the permutations, obviously that takes up a lot of bandwidth. But still, I think Pierre Gasly can feel a bit aggrieved that people aren't going, you know, look at this guy. This guy is a guy for the future, like George Russell is a guy for the future. Gasly, I'm putting my money behind that guy to be a world champ one day. Put him in the right car, he will kick a lot of ass. And I know Christian Horner and Max Verstappen will disagree because he sucked terribly at Red Bull. But I think that's an interesting discussion all on its own because any teammate of Max Verstappen's hasn't really come to the party, yet. But I think if you put Gasly in a good car, in the right environment, he's one of the best.
I like that you took a subtle shot there at Verstappen, kind of saying he's not a good teammate and he kind of wants the whole limelight.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they do it for Hamilton as well.
So you
Give him all the resources.
Yes, yeah. And also, it doesn't. If you are good, get rid of him, kind of thing. Because
Yeah. I mean, it's that age-old story of when you're the number one driver, you get to choose who your teammate is. Not officially,
but
certainly you have a hand in it. It's the same old thing with when Schumacher was when Eddie Irvine left Ferrari. They were teammates, and the story goes that they offered David Coulthard a drive at Ferrari, who was then Mika Häkkinen's teammate at McLaren, and Coulthard at the time was a good number 2, but he was winning races as well. He was a very capable racer. And Schumacher said, "No, I don't want that guy. I want a patsy."
Yes. So Rubens came in there.
Into Barrichello.
Shout out, Brazil's finest. He wouldn't be able to travel today if he was from Brazil. Couldn't go home because they will ban you, as we've seen. That is tough stuff. Although with Pierre Gasly, you're making such a great point. Pierre Gasly.
Yeah. The gas man.
I mean, that markets itself.
Script writes itself, man.
And if that is used by the Formula One, we will sue them because there's no way they have thought about that. We are doing that.
Yeah, gas man's well established by now.
Oh, is it well established?
Sorry.
I got a little ahead of myself.
Yeah. No, it would have been good, but
it's been done.
Yeah, it's one of those examples of and forgive me, but it's called nominative determinism.
Yes.
Yeah.
James, any idea on what determinism might
Nominative determinism, James.
Did you say nominative?
Nominative determinism.
I can tell you exactly what it means.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before Googling.
I'm just waiting for the camera because I want people to see my reaction when I tell you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. In 3.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Nominative determinism is when you nominate yourself to be determined.
That's it. So if you're trying hard, like you've now decided to change your health lifestyle, you've nominated to be determined.
In being healthy, yeah.
James, I've got to give you points, man. That's close, but totally wrong.
Oh, wait, what? That makes no sense. Such an emotional roller coaster.
Saint Stidians.
Thanks, boy.
It's
can't
going
be
to
helped.
happen. I mean, at this stage, I've always said James's mom has wasted all of her money. Just
Sure.
send the guy to school under a tree and save yourself the money. She could be enjoying nice holidays at 5-star
It's
hotels.
true. It is true. You are correct. I am a disappointment to my whole family.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, now some of the evidence would lean that way because they did move 1,200 kilometers away as soon as you finished university. They thought, but I'm not. The evidence is compelling. I bet.
Who's counting, right?
Yeah. Hey, what's 1,200 k's between
Who's
families?
counting?
Yeah.
Definitely not me at 12 o'clock at night when I can't sleep. I'm lonely.
Shame. Buy a dog.
The gas man, it writes itself, folks. I mean, quite frankly, despite Valentine's onto it, what are we doing here? Can we please just get the guy on screen? Let's sell him. He's French. Magnifique, blah, blah, blah. You keep doing that whole thing. It sells itself. The gas man. He should be the face, along with Max Verstappen, who's now decided I'm not Austrian. Is get the hell out of here. I'm not going skiing. You know what I'm doing? I'm racing incredibly fast. It is so dangerous.
Max.
It is so dangerous.
Box,
These
Max.
guys do. That's what they say.
Yeah, except his race engineer's not
A
Dutch.
Goldfinger.
No.
Yeah.
No, he's actually a British guy with a very Italian name.
That's always confusing. Yeah, like Lorenzo Smith.
Close, yeah.
Like something like that,
Yeah.
It's like that's very
McAllister from Argentina.
yeah.
like that great Scottish racing driver Dario Franchitti.
Right back for Southampton at the moment. I forget what his first name is, but Livermento. And very English. Unbelievably English. Shocking to see how he speaks English. It is incredible. A little bit like Hector Bellerin, if you don't know who that is. Shout out to Hector Bellerin, sounding more sort of Cockney than anybody on earth, but he is actually Catalan. It is incredible stuff. Okay, listen, that's part one, because after this we're going to talk a little bit more on post stuff. What happened over the days, a little bit of driver news, etc., etc. The MKT Show is available, cliffcentral.com, the Cliff Central app, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. That is where the podcast is available. If you're joining us on YouTube, please click like. That is that one. The algorithm boosts my ego, but it also boosts the show's rating, etc., etc., etc. Formula One, the gas man, make it happen. The MKT Show. Cameraman. We've got a guy called Sifo in here now. Some people might say it's Sipo. His math's not great. Not a good representation of Maritzburg. So I do like to let people in behind the camera. Is there has to be a countdown so I know what I'm doing. And I don't have much talent, so I do need to, much like really, it's more like just having a doll where you can just move it and make it face whichever way you want. That's all I am. No talent, all face. Not a great face either. But Sipo, a terrible representation of Peter Maritzburg. Cannot count from 10 to 1. It's not ideal. It's not ideal, but I mean, that's tough for his family to know that now. And C4, tis. I mean, that's tough. That's tough. That's one he's not going to live down. Should he decide to keep working here after this, because he will not hear the end of that whole thing. Spike, just your thoughts on the following. Are you an Italian loafers fan by any chance?
Wow, it's funny you should say that, because I presume you're talking about the shoes here.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
lazy Italians.
No.
Yeah.
I was just clarifying it. I'm not a fan of loafers, lazy people of any persuasion.
Okay.
Yeah. But Italian, it's funny you say that, because quite literally last night my girlfriend said to me, if I ever wear those shoes, she will leave.
How did it come out?
We were watching a show with... it's called The White Lotus.
Okay.
And one of the characters there is a real prep star, and he's kind of Ivy League type, and he wears the Bermuda shorts and bad shirts and the Italian loafers.
With the gold, like it's always got a gold like G or whatever on there. One of those ones.
Oh, you're talking about those like house shoes?
No. So I like where you've gone though. But
Yeah, I'm thinking like moccasin style boat shoe type.
no,
things.
you are right. You're
okay,
thinking you're on the right track.
Yeah.
Huge family situation yesterday, Spike. Just before you came, we were discussing it. There's I don't know if you know what carvelas are.
Carvela, the shoes, yeah.
So yeah,
It's been an ongoing topic for almost a week.
well, it's gonna
I
happen.
know what Carvela is. I didn't always used to dress like this.
Yeah, but so you were right. What was it, moccasin? Senzo, you had spoken of moccasins as well the other day. But it's tough to say this without like for me it is a color thing. So we were just talking about a horrible representation of the hood, because most people think, yeah, as with any society, right? Like if you have Scottish heritage, immediately the racist in me goes, oh, heroin, Scotland,
Yeah,
Glasgow.
sure. Yeah, because you got your geography wrong. So 'cause it's one little tiny sect, but I get where you're going.
That's
with
what
it.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is that now the hood is represented by Amaginza is too strong. What would you call the sector of people from the hood, Senzo, who rock the starter pack, as you named it earlier, which is Scotanes. Now, but could you explain the starter pack though of that guy to Spike just while he's here?
It's like...
So what is it? Just tell us the starter pack.
You know what you'd call them in Afrikaans? You call them a breker.
Right, I check. Okay.
Yeah. But give us the starter pack for Spike's edification.
So it's like... it's the cavelas, the floral
With
shirt.
or without socks.
Either way, you would...
Okay.
Either way.
Right.
Mostly without.
Mostly thought with the secret sock.
Yeah.
So, and then... you had like the Dickies or the Brentwood pants, chinos, straightest chinos ever. They've got no shape. And then just a floral shirt or t-shirt. Oh, you're doing it, man.
Yeah. So like your lady said, all that person on screen was missing was the Brentwood pants.
Yeah.
So your lady says no way.
Not a chance.
See, it's not just me then, because that can't happen. That will not happen, and it's a big thing in the hood. Just so you know, Spike, that's the status symbol. Those are the guys they're the bad boys.
They're the guys who are making it.
They're ruining every single family because, hey, let's face it, ladies at between 19 and 25.
Well, they probably got some sort of precious metal in their mouth, so yeah.
Yeah, usually
Oh,
gold
yeah,
too.
you should have started with that. Then I would have got exactly where you're going.
Who
with
I
it.
mean.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay,
yeah.
all right, with you.
Terrible. I've just thought about it now. Is ladies between 19 and 25, it's a terrible time for them. They're into bad boys, and those are the guys that are doing it, ruining families everywhere. So,
I mean, talking about from a lady's perspective, I once read a comment that made perfect sense to me, and actually kind of cemented my opinion about that style of shoe.
Yes.
It's like never date someone who's too lazy to tie their own shoelaces.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
simplicity is sophistication.
Yeah.
I love that saying. So, okay. So, we don't need to say any more, Senza. I think Spike's nailed it there.
He's done it.
He has nailed it. And Spike, you've just helped my cousin, actually, because she just fell for a guy, and she's an accountant, CA. She just fell for a guy. Square. She's a square.
Yeah.
She just fell for that guy that you
wow.
just... And now I think you've just helped her. She watches the show.
Good.
She needed a little bit of danger because he's like, Counting.
Yeah, but no, you're right. Maybe that's what it is. Like you said, she's acting out. She's been a square her whole life. From standard 7, she's had an academic scholarship. So she really is a square. She really is an accountant. You're right. Maybe she's, especially now my aunt.
Introduce some anarchy.
You've said it. Because my aunt moved to Durban now.
Oh, yes.
And now the animals are off.
Yeah.
Last.
Yep.
Free at last, free at last. All right. Let's move on. Some might say this gentleman's career is finish.
Oh, you've used it before. You can't just keep recycling it. We've told you this.
Finish.
Kimi Räikkönen retires again, or exits Formula One again, I should say. But he said no. So he's calling time on his career.
Now?
End of this season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. So he'll quit. The most experienced Formula One driver in history. Something like 23 seasons or something ridiculous. Fabulous driver. Like, he won't be replicated, I don't think. He was the James Hunt of his era, but in a different kind of way. He was a complete individual. He was a real character. He was a supremely talented driver. But I'm glad he's retired.
You ever seen Game of Thrones? I think you've said no to that before.
No, I haven't seen Game of Thrones.
He looks like a White Walker, and it's so finish.
Yeah, he is. He's kind of. I would almost go. He's like on the extreme end of finish, because we've seen Finnish drivers before. We've seen Bottas as a contemporary.
Häkkinen.
We've seen Häkkinen. We've seen Keke Rosberg. Those guys, and they're also Finnish, and they also have those quirks of like, monotone delivery, single syllable answers.
Yes.
But still willing to play the game. Still willing to admit and partake in the fact that Formula One is about sponsors, it is about crowds. Sometimes you got to park your own individual quirks to, play the game and be part of it. Räikkönen, for better or worse, was the guy who said, well, screw that, I'm not that guy. I'm here to race, I'm here to drive,
I'm not about that life.
and that's all I'm doing.
I kind of dig that.
Oh, and I'm there to pocket a lot of money.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is I'm looking forward to him, stomach out. Surely, when he retires, he's going
On his yacht in Monaco.
all of the beers, Monaco at his yacht. That's exactly what I was going to
Yeah.
say. Is he's going to be sitting watching next year?
Yeah.
When he crashed,
15 ladies around him, nobody else on the
when he
boat,
crashed and he just went to his boat, I was like, my man.
Yeah, that's the guy.
This is my guy.
Yeah.
and that's where he's watching
like
Monaco
how-
Grand Prix from.
Yeah, and that's the thing. At that stage, for me, it was super endearing, and that's why he won a lot of fans, because he was that guy who's like, screw you, I don't want your debrief. I'm the Murin. I'm going to go hang out with my mates, get so drunk that I fall off the front of my own boat, which is on YouTube and is hilarious to watch. He entered snowmobile races in a gorilla suit, just because he could, and all kinds of crazy stuff, and he was great. But I've just felt like the last 2 seasons, maybe a bit longer, he's just been the grumpiest bastard of the lot.
Yeah.
And, that for me doesn't sit well with what Formula One is trying to do. You're trying to endear people with, these top of the line athletes who deal with adversity, who overcome things, and in this later period of Formula One's existence, tell people what it's like and kind of reveal something of themselves to fans to help grow the sport, because people relate and people interact. And Räikkönen flat out says, this is a hobby. I don't need to do this. I'm here because I have a bit of fun and I get paid to do it.
Yeah.
And that's all well and good. But as I say, I think it kind of did the image of Formula One a little bit of a damage in this new dispensation in which we find ourselves in the Liberty Media area, where it was all about getting to know the drivers and interacting with the drivers and having fun with the drivers. Räikkönen wasn't into it. And the other thing is that he's occupied that seat for a long time, and he's prevented the accession of younger drivers who are better at playing that game, who are more willing to play that game, who over time might become as successful, if not more successful, than he ever was. And he was there just because, he could, and it was a hobby and he felt like doing it.
$3 or $4 million a year will not hurt that. I mean, if I'm him right now, it's, hey, you're going to keep giving me $4 million to do what I love.
Yeah.
So I'm totally with you. Yeah. But I didn't realize how much Räikkönen and I had in common. I just want to say I have officially done the 94.7 absolutely hammered.
Right.
Absolutely hammered in a gorilla suit. The entire thing.
There we go.
That's back when I was a proper athlete. So Kimi Räikkönen and I are basically the same guy.
Yeah, I mean you're twice his height and not as white as he is, but I mean still you're the same person.
You know what? What's $100 million that he has that I don't?
Yeah, true.
We're basically the same guy beyond that.
Yeah, true.
My dad did live in Finland for 9 years, give or take. So look how much we've got in common, So he's probably... I'm just saying.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you're the same person, but definitely you've got the right to say the 7 steps to Kimi Räikkönen.
Absolutely.
You've got that nailed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And shout out to him just getting COVID, being a White Walker. Actually, I don't have COVID, but I'm going to stay at home. You're still going to pay me.
Yeah, and sitting at home and posting stuff on Instagram going, yeah, I'm fine.
No, of course.
Like literally sitting on his couch going,
No, he's a White Walker.
that's what he does.
The White Walker, for those who don't know, bad guys in Game of Thrones. They are the sort of the undead. So
Right, yeah.
Raikkonen, because all you need to do with him, COVID, all right, take that disc out, put in the other disc. He's an alien anyway.
Yeah.
Kimmy, you carry on.
Yeah,
but he's
reboot
like,
and off you go.
forget that. At 4 million, I'm going to sit at home. Shout out. See if I can get Daenerys Targaryen and her people. But anyway, let's move on. Hey, it's like football. There's transfers happening.
Yeah, it's exciting
I like that.
times.
I like that. Hey, rich people moving other less rich people, but they are also rich.
Yeah.
Hey, you go over here.
Yeah. And your parallel with football is actually quite apt, given that story that's just broken that I have no idea what it's about, but I know that people aren't allowed to go to particular places because of a particular reason.
Yes.
Okay, so what's happening now is the big news is that George Russell, open secret before it happened, but he's now officially signed to Mercedes as Sir Lewis's teammate for 2022. That leaves a seat at Williams empty, because obviously George has vacated that seat for 2022. And now the story is who's going to join, who's going to sign up for Williams to take Russell's place in 2022. One of the candidates is former Red Bull driver Alex Albon. And because of the wonderful marketing and legal entity and machine that Red Bull is, just because you no longer drive for a Red Bull team doesn't mean you can just walk away from the Red Bull team. Red Bull basically own you for a number of years after you've driven for them, to the extent that you must carry Red Bull branding on any racing that you do. So Alex Albon exited Red Bull under a cloud, Red Bull F1 under a cloud. He's currently driving for AlphaTauri, Red Bull's sister team, the AF Corsa DTM team, sports cars.
Yeah.
And he's been listed as one of the candidates possibly to step into George Russell's seat. But getting back to the football analogy, he might be blocked by Toto Wolff, because Williams is a Mercedes engine customer. Toto Wolff is going, no, I don't want a Red Bull driver in my customer's car.
Has he said this, Toto?
Pretty much.
But didn't they sign him yesterday?
Who?
Williams.
Did they sign Alex Albon?
They did.
Were they really? I'm behind the times, man.
So he's in the mix.
Yeah.
Did they sign him or have they announced it? They've signed him.
They've signed him.
Okay, scratch everything I just said.
Yeah.
There we go.
Although having said that, it's a good point that you're making. The fact that that's possible. So in football, it was actually something that's happening. It's called third-party ownership in football, where it's the player is owned. Let's say, let me give you a simple example. Let's say Kaizer Chiefs and Pirates, right? And Pirates want to sell Chiefs a player. Pirates own the player, right? The rights to him. Actually, surprise, surprise. The agent, through a holding company, owns partial rights to the player,
Right.
and so the move gets more complicated. Is now hugely outlawed in Europe. So not in South America and Africa. Well, you know,
to South America and Africa.
you know what I mean. So that sort of thing. Hey, that shouldn't be allowed.
It shouldn't. You're right. I mean, a driver should be able to determine where he wants to drive, regardless of any sponsorship baggage he may carry. But anyway, it's a moot point because he's now signed for Williams. So now that leaves another seat empty because with Raikkonen retiring, there's at least one, possibly two seats available at Alfa Romeo. So Giovinazzi, the current Alfa Romeo driver, Raikkonen's teammate for this year, has to put on a very good show for the rest of the season to make sure he keeps that seat, because there's talk that he might lose it. My thinking is he's still a Ferrari junior driver, Ferrari supplier, Alfa Romeo with engines, so they would probably want him to stick around so he can get a bit more experience in F1. The other drivers who might be making the move to Alfa Romeo are Theo Porcher, who's a current F2 driver. He's a Sauber junior, and he had a really good F1 test in Hungary this year. The other one is Nick de Vries, who's the current Formula E champ, and he was the 2019 Formula 2 champ as well. So he's got a bit of a pedigree.
Bit of a South African sounding name there.
Dutch, in fact.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So those are the options that might be heading to Alfa Romeo. I was really hoping before it was announced that Yuki Tsunoda and Pierre Gasly had signed again for another season at AlphaTauri. I was really hoping there'd be an upsetting of the apple cart and Mercedes had signed Pierre Gasly, but it was not to be, unfortunately.
Just some breaking news here. You guys can probably sort this out between you, but Rikke Swart in the comments saying Albon has not signed anything yet. Toto is still fighting with Horner to release him. Now, I don't know whether
I don't know.
that's
Senzo was referencing the Twitter there, so I mean,
But
Twitter never.
they were releasing the statement yesterday.
Sky Sports.
Um,
You got to get
Yeah.
reliable sources. Can't just be
What?
racing guy _ 603.
no. Sky also said
So
it.
shout out to Rika Swart for calling us out there, because what that does is keep you professional and brings Senzo's journalistic integrity into question. That's going to happen though. Is the Vries guy? If he's not
Yep.
South African, can we get him to be South African? Because that De Vries incredibly like Casper. He's De Vries, obviously without
Yeah,
Dutch connections
yeah.
in the past. So maybe just give him a South African flag, and we got another guy back in the
Yeah,
game.
it would be good. Yeah.
I'm just saying, let's start thinking about
Because I
it.
throw him an honorary South African citizenship.
Yeah, but this is a mess. Formula One, take care of this. It's not good for the brand. But hey, what are you going to do? Billionaires, they will, if they can own stuff, they will.
Yeah, and I think generally these kinds of things get sorted amicably. You know,
Yeah.
I think they do. I think the reality of it following through, because they don't like to be seen as the bad guys, you know.
No,
So they kind of make a plan, and maybe they get a cut, or someone buys out something or other. Williams under new management, and very competent new management by the looks of things. So they might be willing to say, look, we need someone of Albon's caliber
Yeah.
to jump on board to bring his experience. But then again, they might say, and this is the case with Alfa Romeo as well, we don't want someone that comes with baggage. We want someone with experience, who's a proven driver, who's got a bit of talent, not yet a race winner, but I'm really hoping that Nico Hülkenberg gets chucked into the mix once again.
honestly.
I love that guy.
Nico, get in there. But now, tell me this. A couple of weeks ago, we were talking about what budgets are per month.
Yeah.
I mean, per season.
Per season, yeah.
If you were, let's say, because we all know what it means amicably, is,
Yeah.
listen, we need £15 million.
Yeah.
If you really want it, give me the money.
Yeah, the
That's
buyout,
really-
yeah.
Now, would that come out of your budget? Or do you think that they might make a...
I think there's probably a legal way to structure it, because that £145 million, that €145 million that is the budget, doesn't include driver salaries.
Sure.
So you could maybe structure it that it's not a payment for a driver, that it's a
I see what you
legal.
mean.
I don't
they'll
know.
find a way.
Yeah,
they'll find a way.
exactly. They've got lawyers.
Yeah, they do. Ultimately, one of the most exciting things that have happened in Formula One, perhaps in the last decade, I would say. I mean, I was reading some articles, listening to a podcast this morning.
Yeah.
Russell to Mercedes now that really loads things up. Your thoughts on that? That's exciting.
My initial thought, honestly, is I am dreading the British press for next season.
Oh, gonna be
I am
unpredictable.
honestly dreading
thought
it.
about that.
Because all we need, and it will happen, is Hamilton Russell 1-2.
Oh,
At Silverstone.
You just made it worse.
oh,
It's going to happen. We need to prepare ourselves, maybe seek some counseling or something.
It's
But
coming home.
that's just everybody prepare yourself for the fact that we get the Sky Sport feed. Even if you use the official Formula One TV app, which we'll say again is one of the best apps ever created.
yeah, well said.
Even then, you've got Sky Sport commentary, you've got British commentary. That's what I'm not looking forward to.
Britain, it's come home.
Yeah.
It's never been like
oh,
this. We deserve.
Only they can do it.
Yeah.
It's the greatest pairing in history. No.
Sir
Oh,
Lewis, with the Pretender.
I can't.
Lewis will do 10, and then they'll be off to the races.
Yeah.
Britain, the great version of Britain. Oh Lord, yeah, that's going to be awful.
Yeah, I'm just hoping the new technical regulations get in the way of that next year. Everybody's got new cars. Everybody's going to be learning how to drive them.
Yeah,
Everybody's going to be trying to crack the recipe. Maybe that'll even out the playing field, or throw in a few wild cards or a few unknowns and upset the apple cart, so that we don't have this kind of dominance that we've seen from Mercedes. Because if Mercedes dominate or bring what they've brought for the last 7 seasons through to next year, we're going to see Russell on the podium. We're going to see him winning races. We're going to see him taking the fight to Hamilton. There's no doubt the guy is, as is quoted in the press all over the place, the real deal.
yeah.
You know, he proved it in his race outing in Abu Dhabi last year, where he deputized for Sir Lewis when, Sir Lewis, when COVID had the temerity to infect Sir Lewis.
How dare it?
So he can drive. He got in a car that he was too big for. The seat didn't fit him properly. He basically pantsed Bottas left, right, and center, and didn't win the race because of a technical hitch and because of a puncture. So I think that he will be there and thereabouts, all things being equal, and assuming that Mercedes-Benz bring the talent they've brought this last couple of years. We're going to see Russell all over the place. He's definitely in there.
We will see him all over the place, and he has taken to the tweet monster. Shout out George Russell for jumping straight on it. He says, it's official. Next year, I'll be a Mercedes F1 driver. This is a special day for me. And I want to say a huge thank you to Williams Racing, Mercedes AMG F1, and everyone who has supported me in getting to where I am today. I couldn't have done it without every single one of you. Blue Heart, shout out to him for understanding the social media game, jumping immediately and thanking everybody but his grandmother. Even though he actually did it himself, that's what he really thinks. To get that level, the ego is insane. Shout out to him for letting his PR company write that tweet, because it's perfect.
Yeah, no, spot on.
It is
spot on.
perfect.
Look,
he's
had a number of weeks to prepare it, to be fair.
Yes.
So
yeah, it's kind of the worst kept secret ever.
Yeah.
So shout out to him. I mean, even the guys at Williams, like you said, is it Cupito?
Josh Capito.
Capito. I mean, he's the CEO. Great sort of tweet and message from him saying this guy's the real deal and they wish him the best. Again, great PR.
Yeah.
What they're actually thinking is it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
We had to develop him for you to
Yeah,
take him
also
back.
a bit of a humble brag, say he's the real deal.
Yes.
He drove for us, but we're letting him go.
Yes,
Yeah.
like we're proud to have been there in his development. Shout out for we did everything for you, and hopefully when it falls apart at Mercedes, obviously they'll pick Lewis.
Yeah.
We'll see you in 2 years' time. That's probably what he's really saying.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your favorite mate. So shout out to Russell, by the way. Okay, he's the real deal.
Yeah.
Go ahead, do your thing.
And just on an interesting point here, Bottas. Let's go back to the Finns. So Kimi Räikkönen started his career at Sauber.
Yeah.
Moved about the place. Finished his career at Alfa Romeo, which is a rebranded Sauber team.
Yeah.
Valtteri Bottas started his career at Williams. Went to Mercedes. Now back to Williams. So the Finns like to go home, and this might be the last couple of seasons for Valtteri Bottas.
Good point. It's listen, nowhere's like Finland, so I totally understand it. They eat terrible fish.
So do the Icelanders.
I've never been to Iceland, but it is so, like, South Africans think snook is strong. Some
No,
of the stuff I had to walk near in Finland, they will eat. It is more revolting than sushi.
I mean, in Iceland, it's actually they eat skate, which is a kind of.
and
they call it putrid skate.
it's so
my
bad.
word.
So you can get it tinned as well.
Yeah.
Once you crack that tin
no.
open, and bear in mind, this was years ago as a child. I still wake up in a cold sweat thinking about how disgusting that is. So, yeah, Spike, 2 right there. Your favorite guy from Japan and the gas man, of course.
Yeah.
So they stay?
They signed for another year. I'm slightly surprised that they kept Tsunoda, given how they treat Red Bull. When I say they, they're not averse to getting rid of people who don't perform. But Franz Tost, team boss of AlphaTauri, came out and made a good point. He said, "Look, we've kept Tsunoda. He hasn't had a great year. He does have a lot of talent. Him and Gasly work well together as a team. We've kept him because one of the reasons is next year, as we say, everybody's got a new car. Everybody's learning. So it's a kind of leveling the playing field, and maybe we'll see a kind of better performance from him next year. He'll have a year of experience in his under his belt, and maybe he'll work better with the new car, or his mistakes will be less obvious with the new car because everybody will be making mistakes. Yeah. So they're there for another year.
So I mean, with someone like him, of course, you don't know how the future's going to work out. You just say to yourself, well, "Who's Tsunoda? How it'll go?" Jimbo, who's Tsunoda? How the future will go? Just your thoughts on that in terms of sticking at AlphaTauri with Gasly and
Tsunoda.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I actually like that one. That one's good. I do like that one.
You do?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, you can keep it.
Oh,
nice!
Yeah, there
he
we go.
comes back. Bang bang.
It does that. We'll finish off. Jimbo, I'll let you kind of jump in here. Your favorite mate. A bit of situation developing between the son of a legend, Mick Schumacher and Mazepin. Just I don't know if you caught the tail end of that before Spike finishes the show for us on that topic.
I mean, I feel like Spike. I actually have a question for you about Mazepin.
Right. Go ahead.
Okay. And I know this question's going to sound a little bit harsh, but I genuinely want to know, right? Do you think he's going to go further than, 18th, 19th on the grid every weekend?
I think that depends on whether Haas get their game together or not. I think the likelihood of Mazepin getting to another team is very slim. I think he's an example of why fans don't like pay drivers.
Yeah.
So Mazepin's dad owns is a major sponsor of the Haas team. It's part of the reason he's there. Mick Schumacher, his teammate, coming out after this last event, saying he doesn't have a place in Formula One if he's going to drive the way he drives dangerously. Nikita Mazepin coming out going, well, you know what, I just want to be in front and I'm not going to give anything away. I think he's probably not, from what we've seen so far this season, he's probably not talented enough to, all things being equal, if his dad wasn't in the team or part of the team setup, he probably wouldn't hold on to that seat for very long at all. And as I say, the likelihood of him moving teams is not very high.
Yeah.
So unless Haas come out next year with an absolute cracker of a car, to answer your question, James, no, I don't think we're going to see him higher than 19th or 20th. Maybe on the odd occasion, given the right conditions and a bit of luck, maybe 15th.
So no black Mercedes for Mazepin ever.
No, I'm doubting it.
Okay.
James, my thing there would be to say his dad has to keep him.
You enjoyed that one.
Yeah, there we go. What I will say is I feel very sorry for Günther Steiner. Fired his drivers last season because they were both too much to handle.
Lord.
Now he's got exactly the same situation again. And to make it worse, one of his drivers' dad is paying is paying the bills. So you can't just say, you know what, you're fired.
Yeah. On the bright side, we will see how it ends up because there is a Drive to Survive season. Is it 4 now?
4, yeah.
Yeah, that's coming out too. Also, there's a Michael Schumacher movie documentary thing on Netflix.
Yes.
Saw the trailer. I nearly started crying myself. I'm not really an emotional guy, obviously, but that is going to be electrifying stuff. I will watch every moment.
I'm not a Michael Schumacher fan at all. Like, I appreciate what the guy did and what a phenomenal driver he was, but I'm not a fan of his. I will watch that documentary start to finich. It looks amazing.
Looks good.
Oh, get out of here! I saw that trailer. I watched it for about 407 times in one day. A lot of people saying there's not even that much time, but I did manage it. So I mean, don't question me on what I did.
Nobody ever did.
All right, I thought, James, you're kind of giving me a look through the glass there, so.
It's just because I had one more thing before we close off.
All right, let's hear it.
Because it's the funniest tweet I've ever seen.
Quite a statement.
It is a bold statement.
You like these proclamations, eh?
The thing is, I don't know what James has seen. This is incredible stuff. All right, Nicholas Latifi, of course, following that move by Russell. Shout out for him kind of jilting him at the altar, basically. But this is great sense of humor. He says, what? I thought teammates who vacation together stay together. Was our holiday bromance all for nothing? The rock emoji with the eye up and laugh emoji, single tear. That's quite cool there. In all seriousness, super happy for you, man. A well-deserved opportunity that I know you'll take full advantage of. Been a pleasure to drive alongside you. Now, I'll tell you what this says, and James, leave this tweet up before as we close out. What it says about George Russell is fantastic, is that often in these high-powered sports, people are not afraid to say what they think, because generally drivers have made their money, the big drivers. Not a single person, and I've had a good look, has said anything negative from the fraternity of Formula One, or like, oh, thank goodness he's gone. There hasn't been a murmur from anywhere. And what I love about this move, it never got dirty. Because listen, Russell's clearly a talent, right? From everything I'm reading, Spike.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that everybody wants talent. It hasn't gotten ugly on either side. What it tells you is this guy's what we call the real Magoya, and this is awesome. Like if your teammate is doing this, it means that he's a bloke, just a genuine bloke. So
he's a lad.
He's the one, eh? Shout out. This is great. Latifi, this is a great sign for him as well. They're out there. If you're not watching on YouTube, they both got ladies that look like they're airbrushed in real life with them. They're Formula One drivers. They are just living it. Great sunglasses, probably cost the GDP of a small country for those sunglasses. And there they are, just sipping it up. We bottom right photo. Hey, we are just winning at life. Look at our ladies. We're sitting on a couch somewhere, just looking incredible. And then at the bottom, just like, we are living life, are we not? Yes, we are. That's what they're saying there. Fantastic. You just love it. Spike, Formula One this weekend is on again. It's triple header.
Triple header time.
Where are we this weekend?
We're going to Monza, Temple of Speed.
We are going to Monza. Now, I went there as a little child. My dad, huge Ferrari fan. I was incredibly bored. What I did like was that the cars, you could hear them, and it was thrilling stuff for a small child to hear it. I thought my heart was going to stop. Unbelievable experience. Hey, one of the blue chip events, right?
Yeah, you've got to. It's one of those ones that, as we said at the beginning of the show, one of the ones you've got to try and get to.
Yeah.
Along with Spa, Silverstone, Monaco,
Singapore,
and the Dutch Grand Prix.
Dutch Grand Prix now. That's all I want to go to. And I'm getting orange shirt. I'm learning like 5 Dutch words.
You got to find out where to buy the smoke bombs that you're not allowed to bring into this.
No, forget that.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're doing that. We're doing all of that.
Yeah.
Hoop Holland.
And also, you got to get a bicycle.
I do.
Oh, yeah,
I've heard they do
cycling.
like.
A friend of mine's in Holland and she says she has to cycle she cycled drunk the one time.
Excuse me, ma'am. Would you pull over here?
Yeah, because she was on the phone with me while she was cycling. They're like, don't go.
I have breaking news.
Oh, let's hear
More
it. Jack.
breaking news.
This show's never going to end.
I have breaking news for the F1.
Breaking news.
Break it.
Alex Albon will return to F1 with Williams in 2022.
There we go.
He will team up with Nicholas Latifi, who retains his seat.
What did I say?
Boy, oh boy.
Oh.
So we'll talk about that. I mean, listen.
What did I say?
You know what I love?
Prescient.
You know what's great about TV?
I'm that good.
Yeah, you are that good. You've called it. But I tell you what's more
I'm that
important
good.
here. I love when billionaires start to argue over other human beings. Like, I own the rights to you. Do this, do that. I love that because that's good television. We see it in football, we see it in NFL all the time. Formula One, make this TV. Imagine Drive to Survive. This is going to be on season 4. Fantastic content. Spike, you're a legend.
Thanks very much. We'll see you on Monday.
Yes, damn right you will. Senzo, we will see you on the morrow, my brother. Good stuff. Looking good there, looking handsome. You've combed your hair, which was fantastic. Probably time.
Also the least you could do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although you'd think, but I just want you to look handsome all the time. You know what I mean? Senzo Stebe. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the MKT Show. Remember, if you would like to get the podcast, you can get that on Spotify, cliffcentral.com, the Cliff Central app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Otherwise, if you're with us here on YouTube, please click like. That's the up thumb. That's the thumb that's facing up. Direction, not very easy for everyone. As we heard Sipo earlier in the studio, cannot count to 10. So I don't just want to presume up and down are rudimentary for everybody on earth. Ladies and gentlemen, my name, MKT. This has been the MKT Show. But for now, we are the hell out of here.